This is the future.
The community finally did it. After tons of memes, suggestions, and constantly reminding Digital Extremes that this Warframe needs a rework, Pablo finally gave us a sign that they will be working on a rework for the Gluttony Warframe, Grendel. The community has been telling the developer that all Warframes are good, but there are just Warframes that excels, and are much better compared to other Warframes. Honestly, 50 Warframes are a lot. And we can't deny the fact that sometimes, we often hit that deja vu moment wherein we have seen a skill from another Warframe, and it has just been improved for the new Warframe. But, there are also cases wherein a Warframe is just bad, from day one of its releases, and one of those Warframes is Grendel. This Warframe was supposed to be the opposite of Fast Boy Gauss, in a positive way. He is supposed to be the contrast of speed, which is an immovable force. The tankiness is there, but let's be honest, what else would be interesting with Grendel other than his tankiness and feastability? One complaint that I really think Digital Extremes should address is the lack of synergy in his abilities. I mean, there is a small glimpse of it, but his abilities have little effect on each other that you can't even see it as an important feature at all. They even buff Grendel, but still, he is one of the most neglected Warframe in the game. Even adding an augment that allows you to feast on target infinitely with the right setup doesn't cut it, and still, players are seeing Grendel as a mastery rank fodder Warframe. He is just dimensional in my opinion, and the only worth of Grendel is having some dumb fun in Steel Path survival levels with his tankiness and feastability. Other than that, you can roll around in open world areas with the big meatball. So how should the developer rework the Grendel squad leader? Well, judging from his abilities, and judging from the fact that Pablo will be involved on this rework, I'm thinking that it would be fitting if they add a meter for him just like Redline for Gauss. I'm thinking of a hunger meter for him to make his kit a little bit interesting. For example, every time you feasted enemies and they are inside his belly, you will have an increase in stats like status chance or proc so that the enemies inside his belly can be melted with acid quickly. The armor buff will still be there for tankiness, but I think a hunger meter will make it more interesting. They can also make it a bile meter wherein Grendel must lob acidic substances to an area so that he won't get poisoned by those enemies that are already dead in his belly. This can be performed with the regurgitate ability, and what the bile gauge will do is increase the acidity of Grendel's belly to melt the enemies faster, but in return, he will lose health if he will not throw those acid forming in his bellies with the regurgitate ability. Also, the meatball curling ability is cute, and sometimes fun to use as you can cosplay as a bowling ball, rolling all the Grineer pins in a Grineer bowling alley, but I think it must go, or it should be reworked because it might be fun with the augment and launching Grendel fast and far, but it's not that helpful in real missions. The most common team of Grendel is a Devourer, and I think to make him better in real mission, the developer should rethink some of his skills, including his final ability. Feast should stay, and as I have said, they can turn the passive and regurgitate as synergetic abilities, and then Nourish as a buff should be something that would help Grendel. Health regen per stomp won't cut it, even the energy regen don't mean a thing if you can put Hunter Adrenaline on the Warframe and rely on the energy restore of the mod. Even the added toxin damage won't even be useful for Grendel. Probably, they could use Nourish to buff the bile gauge or the hunger gauge as they please, but one thing I would really love to see is, make it interesting and synergetic into other abilities. I'm really hoping for a better rework, and I hope we could see it soon for Grendel, but I'm also hoping that it won't turn out to be Wukong 2.0, wherein it got buffed big time, and after a couple of years, it will get nerfed again because the rework was too overpowered. We all know Pablo is doing a great job on this rework, and he turns almost all Warframe into gold. I don't mind a stupidly broken rework for Grendel, but I think many monkeys will complain again. What do you think will be the best rework for Grendel? Let me know some ideas in the comment section below and let us discuss this Warframe further. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.